Disney takes one of the most classic, iconic fairy tales and adds a little spin to give us Robin Hood. So let's talk about it. Hey friends, welcome to the Disney Pastor. I'm your host Tim. I talk all things Disney, which includes Walt Disney Animation. I'm going to talk about the good, the average, and the bad of this movie, give you my overall thoughts and rating. So without further ado, let's dive in. That's good. And to start off where I started off, a lot of my reviews on Walt Disney Animation is going to be the animation. I think the characters here look absolutely great. The use of colors is done very, very nicely, particularly with its greens. It's done very nice, very eye-catching. And of course, one thing I really enjoy about this movie is its backgrounds. I know I've knocked some backgrounds in the past, but this one is actually done a little bit differently, and I actually really like it. And that is, of course, kind of a storybook look. Now, I'm sure part of it is probably because of budgetary reasons, but there kind of is a storybook kind of look with the backgrounds of this movie, and it kind of adds to the fairy tale nature of this story, and it just fits the film very, very nicely. I really like it. One of the other things I really enjoy here is the characters, both how they look animatedly, that's not a word, but it's okay, but also the characters themselves. This, in my opinion, is the best portrayal of any Robin Hood ever. No ifs, ands, or buts on that one. It's just facts, okay? Sure, he's a fox, but it works so well for the film, and he's just a lovable character. Of course, you also have Little John as well, also portrayed by Blue veteran Phil Harris. He's portrayed both bears, which is kind of cool, but I really like Little John. He's a great sidekick. And we also rebound here as well with Prince John. I mentioned in my review of the Aristocats that Edgar is a new low for Disney villains. I didn't explicitly say that, but I'm saying it now. Prince John definitely brings it back up a notch. He's pathetic, he's whiny, but it works so well, and I absolutely love it. And he's just a fantastic villain. He's mean and menacing while also just absolutely pathetic. That dichotomy works so well with his character. One of the best. The other thing I love here is its story. Now, I will say there are a few things, and I'll talk about that in the average portion of the film, that I do have a bit of issues with. But the story is easy to follow. It's a classic Robin Hood story, and it's done very, very well. Like I said, easy to follow. Anyone can enjoy this film. And of course, one thing I do love about the story that Disney kind of added in, along with its, of course, happily ever after and that sort of thing, is the humor. The humor is done actually quite well. I enjoy it for the most part. There's some visual gags. A lot of it does come from the patheticness of Prince John and a little bit of Sir Hiss and some of those things. It's just done very nicely, and I like it very much.
Something good, something bad, a bit of both.
One thing I do notice when watching this film is that it feels like there's two different stories here. You have, of course, the beginning part of the film, which we get introduced to the world of Robin Hood. We get introduced to these characters, and we have, of course, our mid-film climax, which really could be an ending climax of course, the archery tournament and Robin Hood and Maid Marian and all our friends escaping into Sherwood Forest, where Robin and Maid Marian get married and enjoy just time together, celebrating their little victory on the day, so to speak. That feels like an end, and then you jumpstart into kind of the next chapter, the next film, which is met with the climax of Robin Hood and Little John rescuing everybody from prison and borrowing without permission the rest of the money. It feels like two different films. It doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the movie, at least for me, but that is something to note where it can feel like two separate films kind of put together, and that might be why I have some pacing issues with the first part of the movie. It feels like it's moving very, very quickly. We start off pretty slow with our introductions, and it's done nicely. The second we get to the scene with Friar Tuck, Little John, and Robin Hood, and what I call kind of the soup scene, it starts to move very, very quickly, and it's like, let's just throw a bunch of exposition here so that we set up kind of the rest of the film, and specifically this next sequence with, of course, the archery tournament. It could be done a little better. A little slower. I think it would have been much, much better in that regard. Another thing is its songs.
Let me
me at him! Let me at him!
Now, I'll be honest, the songs here are absolutely nostalgic for me. I cannot lie on that. Oodalali and the Whistle song, very iconic for me. I watched this a ton as a kid, so it's very nostalgic. But compared to some other Walt Disney animated movie songs, or really just Disney songs in general, they don't live up to the same standard as some of these other films. They're not awful. They're not terrible by any means, but they're not the best they could be. And because of that, wish it was a little better.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Wrapping this up with the bad, I hate to break it to you. You may have some flaws, but I don't really find anything super duper griping with this film. Everything that I've said doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the film, so I don't have anything absolutely negative or really just super duper negative. I've said that twice now. I don't really have anything in the bad category, so let's give my overall thoughts, shall we?
And so our journey comes to an end.
Overall, I love this movie. This is one I grew up watching a ton as a kid. It's so much fun from beginning to end. It's a wonderful story. Sure, there are points where it can feel like two separate movies joined together. The pacing can be a little weird and the songs aren't as good, but there's memorable characters, memorable story. It's a fun time, and overall, it's just done very, very well. I enjoy this one a lot. It's kind of one of those guy Disney films that I just watched a ton as a kid. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I gave it an 8.6 out of 10 with a fun factor of an A. I really enjoy it, but let me know your thoughts on the film down in the comments below. Do you enjoy the film? Do you not? Let's chat all things Robin Hood down there. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It helps me know what you like, what you don't like, and if you're new around here, thank you for hanging out till the end. Be sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell to be notified for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me as we talk all things Disney. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.